Yeah, imaginary broom right there as the Blue Jays get swept as they lose 8-1 in the finale this afternoon. I apologize for the late upload, you guys. It's just been a crazy, crazy weekend so far. I hope to get everything back in order and right after the games kind of thing. But I said about the All-Star break, kind of around that time, I'm like, okay, I'll give the team this 10-game road trip. If they can prove something to us, we might have some faith. I'd love a 7-3 stretch. It's going to be tough because you were facing good teams, but a 7-3 stretch would put you like 3 or 4 games under 500. You're coming back home to face teams you should be able to beat in the Angels and the Oakland A's. Instead of going 7-3, the Blue Jays go 3-7. As they have now lost 3 games in a row and are now 10 games under 500. Are we waving the white flag? I mean, in Blue Jays Nation, yes. In the management system, I have no idea. But let's talk about this game a little bit because I want to talk about something. We have talked about this team being very inconsistent hitting-wise and pitching-wise. We have said that day in, day out. Which team are we going to see? But the one thing that has been consistent, and shockingly consistent in a bad way, is the defense. This team defensively has been awful this year. You know, it's those are things that don't get talked about a lot unless it costs you a loss, I guess, in a sense, like in Detroit when Donaldson misplayed that ball and they ended up walking us off on a walk-off walk because of it. Things like that, yeah, that sucks, and you're going to look at that play. But the amount of errors this team has made, it's nuts. A great example, and this is where I'm like, I don't know where this team mentally is. I'm not sure which inning it was in. It might have been the 4th or the 5th, something like that. Ground ball to Josh Donaldson. Edwin's running the second, so we're looking for the double play. He gets the ball, and he fires it wide of second. Darwin Barney has to dive to get the ball. It ends up obviously coming off the base. And that's a routine double play right there. But instead, you get nothing and give them an opportunity to score runs and give them a much better opportunity to score runs in that inning. And it's plays like that. It's mental mistakes like Ezekiel Carrera overthrowing cutoff men and Montero not being able to get down and blocking the ball, right? It's small things like that that hurt your team. Giving your opposing team an extra 90 feet with you making a stupid brain fart mistake or a mistake in general, yeah, that a lot of the time it comes back and bites you. And that's what's happening with this team right now. I mean, it doesn't help that the inconsistent pitching is there. It's weird. Last year, we had a great starting pitching, and the bats were at that. This year, and it was funny because Marcus Stroman was the guy last year that was like, you know, he hasn't quite got it all figured out yet. This year, he's the only guy who's got it figured out this season on a consistent basis. But he has an ERA of under 3. The rest of the team, I don't know what we're going to see. Lariano, when we brought him over in the second half of last year, he was pretty darn good with the Jays. This year, he's been atrocious. Marco Estrada, I don't know what happened to him. I have no idea what happened to him mentally, physically. I don't know what's wrong. Jay Happ, he's been more or less consistent, but then he has games like today where he doesn't pitch very well, goes 6 innings, giving up 9 hits, 7 runs, walks 3 guys, and obviously takes the loss for his 7th loss of the season. If you had to describe this team, this season, in one word, we all know what it's going to be. Inconsistent. That's all it is. And I think the reason we're all so frustrated, the reason we're all so flustered, is because of a few reasons. One, we're used to this team competing over the last couple of years, and this team's not much different than those teams. That's why it's so like, what's going on? Also, we don't know what the direction of this club is. We have no clue. What do I mean by that? We all want this. We all want to embrace this rebuild. We think it should happen. I agree. It should happen. You know, I mean, the way this team is playing, the veterans they have on this team, it's just kind of, you know, what this team is. They're a bunch of grizzled veterans, you know, and I'm just trying to find something here to, you know, prove my point of I'm not sure where this team is and where they've added, right? You look. The Jays made 2 trades today, but none of them are what you're expecting. Let's go to the one of the lesser of the magnitude, I guess. The Jays trade, cash considerations to the Minnesota Twins for Nick Tepesch, a guy who's mainly pitched in AAA this year, could possibly pitch a little bit in the majors, but really nothing going on there. Also, the Blue Jays trade the 30th ranked prospect Ryan McBroom. First baseman, was in Double-A New Hampshire. Again, he was only hitting .243, not a big guy. Did have 12 home runs and 54 RBIs and an on-base percentage. Oh, I don't have that here. I was reading it wrong. But a good player, and you get Rob Refsnyder. Again, a guy who is hitting .135 with the New York Yankees this season. No home runs, no RBIs. Where is this team headed? What is Rob Refsnyder going to do for this team that is going to change the fortunes of this ball club? Ryan McBroom, I'm not saying this guy was going to be an absolute stud, but he's a guy you're trying to develop, a young guy. Why? It makes no sense to me why they're making moves like this when bigger moves should be made. Now, obviously, there's obviously not a deal in place, but just so many question marks of like, what are the management team thinking? Are they thinking, you know, we'll give it next year, and if they're no good, we'll blow it up then? Well, no, by that time, all the trade value is gone down even more, and you're not going to get as much back. So it's very, very tough to say. The Jays have a small window to trade players, and I know Blue Jays Nation will embrace this rebuild like Leafs Nation did. I understand it's going to be a lot longer than that. However, Leafs Nation did a great job of it, and now we're getting rewarded. Blue Jay fans, I know we can go through it. It's going to be tricky. Will I do videos through the rebuild? Yes. Will it be tricky on some days to talk about games? Yes. But you got to do what you got to do, and we got to talk about this team and what it's all about. But right now, we don't know what it's all about. All we know is that the team we have on the field right this second is pretty much useless. So I don't know what you guys think about the mini trades that were made today. I'm just confused. I really am shocked. But I want to say Shapiro and Atkins have a plan, but really, what the heck is their plan? You know, we talk about this team, you know, heading in the direction of the rebuild. And we have some very good-looking prospects in our system, but to build that system, like the Yankees did, to get chips, to trade for better players down the road sometimes, you know, it's huge. But we don't know. I swear we're like the Vancouver Canucks, you know, of baseball. The Vancouver Canucks are kind of like that tweener team of like, are you going to rebuild or are you just going to try and contend and not do well? But on a more positive note, let's talk about the great thing about this team. The young guys. Vladdy Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette, we'll talk about them a little bit more. They're both in Advanced A in Dunedin. Vladdy Guerrero only hitting .256, however, his OPP is .370. Again, the guy's 18 years old. We got to calm down with saying, oh, he should be hitting .350. You know, but what we've realized is that Bo Bichette is the absolute stud. He is hitting .373 in Dunedin. And I'm just going to leave you guys with that. A smile on your face to end it. Hearing our two young guys, Bo Bichette, Vladdy Guerrero Jr. That's all I want to talk about right now because the team on the field right now is just awful. Right? I think you guys can agree with that, all right? So, you know, guys, that is going to do it for this one. If you guys enjoyed this video and you love Bo Bichette and Vladdy Guerrero Jr., hey, smack that like button. I do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below what you guys think of this video. What do you guys think of the trades, like I said, and the game today and the team in general. And if I haven't mentioned already, Bo Bichette and Vladimir Jr., what do you guys think about these two young studs? I'm absolutely pumped, but don't rush them. Patience is key with these youngsters, all right? So we'll talk to you guys. I mean, it will be tomorrow night as the Jays come back to the Rogers Center. It's going to be very interesting to see how many people actually show up. It's a Monday against Oakland. The team is playing like crap. It's going to be very interesting to see how many people show up. It'll probably be full to a certain extent. But Francisco Lariano versus Chris Smith, I don't know what we're going to see. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow night.